Here's the iPhone 14. I'm gonna show you how to replace the battery on this device. First thing is to hit the back of the iPhone 14. The battery replacement on the iPhone device, starting with the iPhone 14, is a little bit easier just because the back is removable and it is easier to remove than the previous iPhones. Our partner for this video is Mint Mobile, which has been inside my Galaxy S24 Ultra since day one. The back of the iPhone 14 was heated for 20 seconds, precisely the bottom portion of the device, and after that I used a suction cup in order to create a small gap between the back glass and the frame of the device, inserted a guitar pick, and I started hitting the back of the iPhone 14 again. So make sure that you're careful while pulling the back glass in order to create the small gap. If you do not see any gap after pulling slightly, reheat the back glass of the device because the back is new and it is working, it is not broken, so you do not want to crack it in the process of removing the back. After inserting a second tool in order to have a placeholder so that the back does not close, I reheated the back of the iPhone 14 and used my guitar pick in order to go on the right side of the device to separate the back glass from the body of the device. On the back glass of this iPhone 14 there are some metal pins. If you try to remove the back glass and it doesn't work, you can use a tool to gently pry the back glass in order to undo the metal pins that are inserted on the frame of the iPhone 14. The second problem with the back glass of the iPhone 14 is the cable coming from the wireless charging. This cable is on the right side of the device. While looking the device from the back, you need to be careful while inserting the guitar pick on that area not to damage that cable. Before you can access the cable coming from the back glass and disconnect it, you need to remove the retaining plate that is covering that cable and also the retaining plate that is covering the battery cable at the middle of the device. The red arrow is where you have the battery cable. This is the cable that you need to disconnect first before you move and disconnect the cable at the top, which is from the wireless coil. You need to disconnect the battery cable with a plastic tool, then you can disconnect the other cables with a metal tool if you want. So the cable that I disconnected first was not the battery cable. This is why I had the arrow pointing to the battery cable. This is the cable that you need to remove first. The partner of this video is Mint Mobile. I have Mint Mobile on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. If you go on trymintmobile.com/earthbeat, you will see this page with the promotion that they have currently. You can get the unlimited plan for $30 and the lowest plan that they have is $15. They do offer eSIMs so that you can get a plan within minutes. In the description, you will find all the tools that I use in this video and also the trymintmobile.com/earthbeat. The iPhone 14 has pull tabs on the back of the battery. This is the way you need to remove the pull tabs. You need to undo the pull tabs on the top of the battery first. After that, you're going to use a tool, a plastic tool or your hand in order to hold the pull tab and pull strongly to remove it. Yes, the pull tabs on the iPhone does really stretch for a long period of time. Okay, this was only the first pull tab. There are two pull tabs like this on the back of the battery for the iPhone 14. Generally, these pull tabs do not work when I try to pull them. And here is the second pull tab. It didn't work. I tried to pull it and it got cut or broke. No way to pull the pull tab. You need to use alcohol in order to soften the double-sided tape on the back of the battery. So with the new design of the iPhone, I cannot do the way that I used to do it using a heat gun. So you just need to have a few drops of alcohol on top of the battery and you need to push that alcohol on the side where you have the other pull tab that has not been removed. After that, you need to clean the front of the battery and remove all the excess alcohol. Let the device sit for 1 minute or two, and after that you can use a plastic tool or a metal tool in order to pull the battery. I decided to use a metal tool because the plastic tool will not go between the battery and the side of the device. So this is why I inserted my metal tool between the side and the battery and inserted the metal tool on the back of the battery. Then I started to pull the battery slightly, and after a while I just took my plastic tool and did the rest with my hands. If you use a metal tool to do this, you need to be careful not to damage the battery. Damaging the battery and puncturing the battery can create fire and result in damaging your smartphone. So you need to be careful while doing that with a metal tool. So as you can see, with only one pull tab left to remove, it is extremely easy when you have one end of the battery already removed. Like I said, this is the battery cable. The cable that I removed first was not the battery cable. This is why I'm showing it to you again. The battery cable is the smaller cable, the first cable at the top. Here's the battery of the iPhone 14. It doesn't look really big, but this is the standard size of the iPhone battery for the regular iPhones. Before you continue to do anything, you need to remove all the double-sided tape or the pull tabs that were left inside the device. Generally, your new battery will come either with a pre-installed pull tab or a pull tab that you need to install on the back of the battery before you do the installation of the new battery. Make sure that you align the top end of the pull tabs, the one that you need to undo first in order to pull the pull tabs that are on the back of the battery. After you align that one, you need to align the back of the pull tabs and press on it. Make sure you apply a lot of pressure on the pull tabs to make sure that they stick on the back of the battery when you try to remove the protecting film that is on the back of the pull tabs. Generally, with the new aftermarket batteries, you will get only one pull tab if it is not already pre-installed. And while you need to install the pull tabs, you need to be careful not to damage it or not to have it messed up because you have only one pull tab to work with. For the installation, make sure that you align the cable, the battery cable first with where it has to connect on the motherboard. After you align that one, you need to apply pressure for the battery to be stuck on the inside of the device. If it is not aligned properly, you will lose the pull tab and you will have to do it with double-sided tape or some B7000 glue in order to have the battery completely sealed on the back frame of your iPhone 14. To seal the back of this iPhone 14, I'm gonna use B7000. If you use B7000, make sure that you're careful around the buttons. Just make sure that you do not use excess B7000 because if it goes around the area where you have the buttons and inside, you will no longer have the clicking sound of the buttons. It will work, but you will no longer have the clicking sounds. So if your battery comes with double-sided tape for the back cover, you can simply use that double-sided tape in order to seal the back of your iPhone 14. You need to reinstall everything, including the returning plate and the screws, before you close the back of your iPhone 14. If you're going to use B7000, make sure that you add B7000 after attaching the back cover. It can be a little bit tricky to add B7000 with that cable around, but it can be done. I have done it multiple times. If you choose to add B7000 like I did it in the video, then add all the parts remaining. You need to be fast in order to close the device as soon as possible. The iPhone 14 that I started with had a broken screen and broken frame, so this is why it is of yellow color now. So another thing to add, if you change the battery of any modern iPhone, you're going to have this message, important battery message, unable to verify the battery is genuine or some kind of wording like that. So this means that the battery is not going to show any battery capacity on your device because the battery that you just installed is not programmed to work with your motherboard. But that does not mean anything. You can use the device with the aftermarket batteries without any effect. I did it on the iPhone 13 mini. I'm using it now and I have no issues. Also, even if the battery is original, here I did swap the battery of two iPhone 12 mini and I have the same message, unknown part, despite the battery being an original, genuine Apple part. If you want to reprogram the battery to your motherboard, you will have to buy some other equipment in order to do that.